Last week was a very difficult week. It was already really difficult with all of the racist shit that was going on in the world, with all the universities and things. And I actually recorded a piece on Yale, but it doesn't feel right to put that video up anymore just because of what happened with Paris, and it feels like, I'd be diminishing what happened and not caring about what happened if I were to post a video like that. Like, this is gonna be just a very quick, scratching the surface type of discussion on Paris and just the stuff that I've seen. I think the main thing that I would like to convey is the idea that you don't have to feel like just one way about something. I feel like a lot of people are getting very angry at people that are complaining about that the media did not cover a lot of massacres that were happening in other countries, and a lot of people are saying, this might be a result of just media in general being very Anglo and white-centric, and that criticism is extremely valid. A lot of people think that anybody that is criticizing the way that the media is covering Paris means that they don't care about all the innocent lives that have been lost, and I genuinely think that that is not the case. With any aspect of life, I think everybody is allowed and probably is complex enough to always feel many ways about one particular thing. I think that that just has to do with the way that we consume information on the internet, in which we just want one point and then to move on to something else. I apologize if this sounds like a trivial example, but as a person of color, I can enjoy watching Will and Grace, even though I know that there are problems with it in being very white and there almost being no people of color on Will and Grace. I'm feeling two different ways about it. I'm enjoying the comedy and the writing of it, but I'm also very mindful of how white it is. And I think this kind of reconciling with nuance can be applied to Paris as well. You can generally feel really, really bad and mourn over the very tragic and unnecessary loss of life that happened in Paris. And you can speak out against the senseless violence that happened, and you can still criticize the media for their lack of coverage for other types of violence that are of the same magnitude as Paris. I think sometimes we can fall into this pit of thinking that you need to decide whether you're one way or the other. I think people just need to separate the criticism of media coverage of Paris with what happened with Paris themselves, because I don't think anybody disputes that what happened was awful and horrible. If people are, then you should probably unfriend them. But as long as what you're reading is not disrespecting the lives that have been lost in Paris, and as long as what you're reading is not anti-Muslim or anti-Islam, then I definitely feel like maybe try your best to hold your opinion and just maybe give yourself some time to figure out what that person is really trying to say. The whole anti-Muslim thing is entirely another discussion that I don't know if I want to get into. Please weigh in. I think it's very great to have constructive conversations. Just try your best to not be disrespectful towards people. Please stay safe and maybe take some time to disconnect from the internet and turn your brain off just for a little bit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye!